Isabella.
And I'm Amy.
And in this video, we're going to be talking all about the
1950s.
For our first segment, we're going to go to Sam.
Let's get started.
Markets were at a point of substantial growth because of the pent-up and the surging economy. And the land value of the suburban areas increased. The suburbs were also built because of the increasing population. The social phenomenons in the 1950s were, one of them was that California's population grew 49% because people need to move out of the rural areas. Also, the production of cars went up. It went from 39 million to the beginning of 1950 to 74 million by the end of 1950. And now to you, Sam.
Now let's talk babies! After World War II, birth rates rose significantly due to a post-war economy. This was known as the baby boom. During this time, 4.2 million babies were being born per year. Now, 40% of the population in the United States are baby boomers. During the 1950s, many women were pressured to get married as soon as possible and have kids as soon as possible. Many considered this the modern mother, where the woman took care of the kids and raised them at home, and they cooked and cleaned. In America during the 1950s, just 1.5% of the women went to college, and a lot of those girls dropped out because they got married and pregnant. Women's fashion in the 1950s created a new, unique feminine look. Full skirts and natural waistlines were quite common in the 1950s. Many dresses were either sleeveless or had wide collars and V-necks. Television during this time really did change communication and politics in America. TV signals practically went across the United States and worked in almost every place. There was also now a common national carriage of television shows, sporting events, and politics and propaganda. During this time, 88% of Americans had at least one television in their house. After World War II, many people moved to the suburbs. This was known as suburbia. Why, you may ask? Well, let me tell you. During this time, many people were guaranteed home loans in the suburbs, and many of those people were veterans, which meant they got discounts on these homes. During this time, the assembly line made homes a lot easier and cheaper to manufacture. And now to you, Amy and Isabella.
Hey guys, we're going to talk about what led to the Cold War. The Korean War. It started in June of 1950 and ended in July of 1953. Korea was split into two sides, North Korea and South Korea. North Korea was supported by China and the USSR.
South Korea, on the other hand, was supported by US and the United Nations. There were many conflicts between the United States and the USSR.
Different political ideas caused tension between the two.
Make America great again!
Hey, I don't agree with your political views.
Hey bro, I don't like you.
This is what happened between the US and the USSR when they didn't agree on capitalism and communism. Also, the threat of nuclear warfare caused even more tension.
The Iron Curtain was another cause for the Cold War.
The Iron Curtain was a boundary line between Europe and the USSR. The Iron Curtain was a boundary line dividing Europe in two.
Western Europe and Eastern Europe. On the Soviet Union side was the Warsaw Pact.
On the United States side was the North Atlantic Treaty Organization.
When the war ended in 1991,
It seized the existence of the Iron Curtain. And now to you, Alex.
Well, thanks, ladies. And now we're going to talk about the social and political events of the 1950s. McCarthyism was a campaign against communism led by Senator Joseph McCarthy. HUAC invested allegations against communist activities. They called citizens in for hearings before Congress and used controversial tactics that contributed to fear. The Rosenberg trials consisted of Julius and Ethel Rosenberg, who were convicted of espionage. They eventually failed to prove their innocence and were sentenced to death in 1951.